Hello, my name is FIDEL and welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to tackle 9 foods that could kill you if you ate enough of them. Now these fruits like cherries, apricot, plums and peaches contain cyanide. But don't freak out if you accidentally swallow a cherry pit. They are rarely poisonous when eaten whole. But whatever you do, don't eat a broken pit, because aside from tasting really bitter and generally being impossible to chew, the stones of certain stone fruits like cherries, apricot, plums, and peaches contain cyanogenic compounds. Science talk for stuff that your body can turn into cyanide. So how many cherry pits is a lethal amount of cherry pits? Question. After some quick Googling, I found out that hydrogen cyanide is a lethal at about 1.52 milligrams per kilogram, meaning that it takes a little bit more than 0.1 grams, or picture this, a dime weighs about a gram of the toxin to dispatch a person that weighs about 150 pounds. A single cherry yields roughly 0.17 grams of lethal cyanide per gram of seed. So depending on the size of the kernel, ingesting just 1 or 2 freshly crushed pits can lead to death. Rhubarb, oxalic acid. The brightly colored rhubarb stalks are great for cocktails and for making tangy sweet pies filling. But the plant leaves contain oxalic acid, a chemical that is used in household bleach and anti-rust products. Yikes. If that wasn't enough, eating the leaves can cause burning sensation in the mouth and throat, nausea, vomiting, convulsion, and even death. Even cooking the leaves won't get rid of the acid. If despite this, you still want to try eating rhubarb leaves, you will be glad to know that they're not severely toxic. According to a study from the Hampshire College, a 130-pound woman would have to eat around 10 pounds of the rhubarb leaves to show symptoms of oxalic acid poisoning. Potatoes, solanine. Depending on how they're handled, potatoes can produce solanine, a natural pesticide that's toxic to humans. The compound is particularly concentrated in potatoes that have started to turn green, especially when they are begun to sprout. Potential symptoms of the solanine poisoning include vomiting, diarrhea, and sometimes cardiac arrest. The good thing is that aside from looking kind of unappetizing and tasting slightly bitter, you would have to eat an excessive amount of green potatoes to actually get solanine poisoning. A study by the University of New Mexico shows that a 100-pound adult would have to eat a full pound of completely green potatoes before showing symptoms, which is pretty difficult to do by accident. Apples and pears. Yeah, they too contain cyanide. Apples and pears are both have seeds that contain compounds capable of turning into a lethal cyanide when ingested. Luckily for the apple core eaters, you really have to mash those seeds before the cyanide making compounds can take effect. Apple seeds contain roughly 700 milligrams of hydrogen cyanide per kilogram, meaning that you would need about 100 grams of the pips to make a 150-pound person. That's nearly a quarter of a pound of apple seeds, sans actual apple flesh. Assuming that one apple seed weighs about half a gram, that means you would have to eat your way through 200 pips. A typical supermarket apple contains about 8 seeds. So if you really wanted to get cyanide poisoning, you would have to eat at least 25 apple cores in one sitting. Rice, arsenic. Rice, especially rice grown in Texas, oh boy, Texas, contains arsenic, a toxin that can cause bad things like vomiting, abdominal pain, and vertigo when consumed in large quantities. The highest levels are found in brown rice, the lowest in instant white rice. Despite the toxin presence, it would be incredibly difficult to poison yourself by eating too much rice in one day. That's not to say nothing bad would happen. Consistent exposure to even low doses of arsenic over time can lead to heart disease and bladder cancer. According to the FDA, there is anywhere from 2.6 to 7.2 milligrams of inorganic versus organic, which is much easier for your body to metabolize. Arsenic in one serving of rice, given that it would take about 50 grams of arsenic to kill an average 150-pound adult. You have to eat nearly 7 million servings of rice in one sitting to achieve a death by rice. If we assume that one serving is about a quarter of a cup, that's almost 1,800 cups of rice. That would be a large feat to accomplish in order to do yourself in eating rice. Thank you for visiting my channel, One Match to Burn. Please subscribe. Thank you.